You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots, you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender on Ron Siegel Radio. Well, here we go. Here it is.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Dannie DeNovo. How are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Doing great. Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Get over it. Yeah, today's National Get Over It Day. That is one of the celebrations of the day. I tell that to people all the time. They don't tend to listen, but I tell them to get over it. Now, Josh, I'm watching here because I hope that you didn't come up with this one and share this as maybe it was, and I hope maybe it wasn't Lovin that did this. Today's National Registered Dietitian Nutritionist Day. I hope nobody in our team said anything about this one to me.
What's the big idea?
Okay. I might need a dietitian, but my wife tells me that more than enough. Get Over It Day. Can we go back to Get Over It Day? We might have to stick with that one. National Barbie Day. I'm gonna go out there. I sold zillions and zillions of Barbies in my day, lots of dolls, but the woke version of Barbie, I'm not sure I'm up on that one. I know they've got a new one coming out that's got to be politically correct. And you know my feeling about political correctness.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah. National Meatball Day. I like that one. So, and those are mini meatballs. If you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, mini meatballs. Okay. But as long as meatballs, meat sauce, I'm an Italian food junkie. I like all of that. And I don't know if we did this one. It's National Crab Meat Day as well. So hard to find crab meat. Oh, and you know something? It's so hard to find crab meat. We couldn't even find a picture for the slides today, which is cool. That's fine. National Crab Meat Day. Like a crab cocktail. I use crab meat in ceviche, like that one as well. We better move right along and see what else is going on in the world. Otherwise, they might kick me off my microphone here. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 712 points. S&P 500 up 108. NASDAQ is up 409 points. Oil down $6.86 a barrel. That's good news. That's going to help somebody. Maybe it'll help and I'm gonna go there, Josh. I'm going right to it. Maybe they'll help the comrades out there in Santa Barbara. Can you believe those lunatics lunatics in Santa Barbara? So we're watching gas prices soar through the roof. Our president is calling Venezuela, calling every country that hates it, Iran, every country that hates us, and asking them to put out more oil. And the comrades in Santa Barbara voted 3-2 not to open the platforms where we have rigs off the coast of Santa Barbara where we actually can get American oil. Can somebody help me with? I know the environmentalists don't like it, but here's the question. Is the oil coming from Iran and Venezuela? Is that better than the oil that we would have from the United States of America? I know Saudi Arabia won't even take the president's call. I know he said that they would, but do you believe that? What else is he going to say? So Saudi Arabia won't take his call. They're not going to increase their oil production. Venezuela, maybe. Iran says, give us nuclear weapons and we'll give you more oil. Does this make any sense at all? I'm just throwing this out there for you because I can't figure the logic. And I am watching as gas prices go through the roof. So we'll run. Danny, where are you located?
I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So you're not bad. You're at $4.39 a gallon is the average for a gallon of gasoline in Pennsylvania. I don't know about Pittsburgh. Pennsylvania as a whole. Now, Pennsylvania has gas and oil out there too. But I guess we'd rather go to Venezuela than Pennsylvania. I wonder if the people of Pennsylvania will remember that when it comes time to vote. I just throw that out there. $4.39 for Danny. Lori, I think, is probably going to still be the winner here. She's at $4.03 a gallon. That's our tremendous underwriter in Louisiana. Jody, our production manager, great part of our team, $4.40 a gallon. I can see Josh in the background holding his head because we're at $4.77. It's not that bad, Josh. California, though, are you ready? I don't even know if we want to hear about this because I just heard that even with us leading the country at having the highest gas prices in the country, our taxes are going to go up on gasoline on July 1st. They're going to increase taxes above our current price. Are you sitting down? $5.57 a gallon on average in California. $5.57. I think I might head out to Nevada this weekend just to get gas. We'll see about that. Think about it. You're 80 cents a gallon, 70 cents a gallon cheaper in Nevada than what we're paying here in California. And, well, Danny's got you beat too, Josh. Oh, no, you're better than Danny's pricing. Okay, well, we're watching it all over the country. $4.39 in Pennsylvania. Well, $4.77. So, Josh, you're still – well, you're close to California, so you get the overflow and get to pay the extra. $4.25 is the national average for a gallon of gasoline. Let's see what else is going on in the world right now. At least the market's up. Why is the market up so much today? Well, the EU came out and said they have enough heating oil to last through the winter. So all of a sudden, when we see that they've got enough heating oil, they're not going to have to rely on Russian oil to get more, to keep warm. Well, something there it is. Now, think about this one. I wonder what's going to happen here. McDonald's and Starbucks, they're both closing all of their restaurants. I think McDonald's has 800 restaurants in Russia. Starbucks has 100 restaurants in Russia. Closing their restaurants. Here's the issue. Will Russia take them over? Now, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Starbucks anyway, and I don't know anybody that goes to McDonald's for their food. So even look at their advertising, right? The advertising for McDonald's. Have you ever seen an ad for McDonald's that says anything about good food? It's always about have a great day or enjoy life or go out. I don't even know, but Josh, do they have the little ball things out back anymore? Or is that gone? Where the kids playland is that's all gone? Okay, no more playland out there. I got it. Oh, well, we're going to get on with our broadcast. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, are you happy? There used to be a song about that. Wasn't that a Bruno Mars or Pharrell or something had a Be Happy song? I think my wife liked one of those songs way back when. Key factors that impact affordability today. And when do medical bills affect your credit? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Dow Jones now up 712 points. NASDAQ up 402 points. S&P 500 up 106.69. 10-year Treasury, the yield on that is up 25 basis points. Mortgage-backed securities, that bond is down 23 basis points, which means interest rates are increasing on those home loan rates. And I'll tell you, so yesterday's number coming out of the Optimal Blue, loans were locked yesterday at 4.182 on the 30-year conforming loan. The 15-year loan was locked at 3.35. These are average numbers of what the loans were locked at. 30-year jumbos locked at 3.84, 30-year FHA 4.26. Again, Optimal Blue has the largest market share of any of the loan origination software program, about 35% market share. And we get our numbers from them every morning to see what loans were actually locked at yesterday. Now, that doesn't tell you what you might qualify for. This is not an offer to lend. This is an offer to educate. That's all that is. Why is all of this happening? Well, we get all kinds of data. The Mortgage Bankers Association released their data, mortgage application data, the week ending March 4th, showing that overall application volume increased by 8.5%. Applications to purchase a home up 9%. Refinances increased by 9%. We also got the Labor Department released their JOLTS report. That's job openings. 11.263 million jobs open for the month of January, greater than expectations of 10.9 million, less than last month's revised report of 11.448 openings on the jobs numbers. We're going to see, we got about a week to go until we see what the Federal Reserve is going to do about inflation. The Jerusalem Post is saying that there might be talks going on between Russia and Ukraine. Not sure. Russia's said a lot of things recently and done exactly the opposite of what they promised. So we'll see what happens there. About 10 o'clock Eastern time, the 10-year Treasury note auction results will come out. We'll see what that does for the mortgage-backed securities. And that is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. This morning, we're going to talk to Dannie DeNovo. Dannie, you should be ultra busy right now because you're helping people try and find a way to be happy. And, you know, you look around and I hear a lot of people talking about gas prices. I hear people talking about food shortages. The commentary coming out of Ukraine. Happiness. How do we get happy in the light of all this information that's going on in the world today?
Yeah, it's not really a very easy task. I think it's something that you have to work at a little bit every day, just like you would go to the gym every day and eat healthy every day if you wanted to lose weight.
Wait a second, Dannie. Go to the gym every day. I thought gym was a person. I didn't know it was a place.
Right.
I don't know about that part.
Right. Well, it's the same concept though. It's not something where you're just going to flip a switch one day and you're going to be happy. All of a sudden you're going to change the way you think and the way that you behave and everything's going to be great, right? You have to work at it a little bit at a time and kind of get used to being happier than you are right now.
And I think that's we have a lot to be thankful for, regardless of any of these things. I think if people are wise enough, and maybe that's kind of what you're alluding to, is right now we're still in a free country. I can get on the broadcast every morning and talk about the president that is totally clueless. If I did that in Russia, I might have of course, Facebook will put me in jail, but the country won't.
Right.
Right. So we have a lot to be thankful for. Is that part of the process of just looking at those things?
Gratitude is a huge part of it. It's really easy. Our brains are kind of wired to peg out what is, missing, quote unquote, from life, or what we feel is lacking, instead of looking for what is already there, what's good in today, what's good in tomorrow. When you train your brain to look for the good, though, you start looking, you see more and more good, and then more good stuff keeps showing up, and it feeds that loop instead of the negativity loop.
So if you're training your brain, it seems to me like anymore you almost have to say, okay, I'm not going to watch the news because that's always negative, and I'm not going to get on social media because that's almost always negative. Or do you just block all the people that are negative on social media channels? What's the way to do that?
I think you spend less and less time with the people or the things that are bringing negativity into your life. I mean, you want to be informed, but that doesn't mean you have to sit in that negative state all day long. Get the information that you need and then get on with your day. We're so addicted to these devices. They're saying our technology is as addictive as narcotics at this point in time. And it's just sapping that energy from you all day long. You're giving up your happiness to anyone's opinion who has anything to say on any given day, instead of making the conscious decision that you're going to live in gratitude and you're going to have a good day and be happy.
So here's the big question, and thankfully I don't have school age kids anymore. How do we deal with that? Because I mean, there's a lot of, in my opinion, stupidity going on with the adults and what they're subjecting our kids to in school. I can't believe that kids are being, they're too, in my opinion, they're too young to be dealing with sexuality and racism, and skin color in school. Is that part of our problem? Are we raising our kids to be to have these challenges with happiness?
Well, sure, because our children are mirroring our behavior, and we're running around, we're anxious, and we're chicken little, the sky is falling, and we're bringing up all of these issues and negativity all day long. If you have an anxious kid, it's because you are anxious. You just need to look at your own behavior to see why your kid is acting the way that your kid is acting. Right? Kids are great. They're so resilient at brushing off the negativity and going back to the present moment and living a happy and healthy lifestyle. But we sort of drill that out of them as they continue to go on. So I see more and more anxiety with children, and we've made that a lot harder for them given the restrictions that we've put in place over the last couple of years.
Is there a process for helping the kids as the schools open up and as society opens back up? Is there something we can do or a strategy we can take?
Yeah, there's different strategies you can definitely take. I think the easiest thing to start with is just helping your child manage the anxiety and the feelings when they come up for them, because we don't do a very good job of teaching that to our children. Our parents didn't do a very good job of teaching it to us. And so we just kind of hold on to these feelings. We don't really sure how to process them or what to do with them throughout the day. They just continue to grow and snowball on us. There's some really easy techniques that I teach to parents that you can teach to your kids too, just to help them take a breath, come back to the present moment, and say to themselves, you know what, I'm okay right now. I'm safe. Everything is okay in this particular moment. I don't need to be fearful. I don't need to be scared. There's some great devices. There's a thing, it looks like a whistle. It's called an anti-anxiety necklace. You can wear it around your neck. You can wear it under your shirt so the kid can take it to school and no one would even know that they had it. And it just makes you slow down your breathing. So you put it in your mouth like a little tube and you just exhale nice and slow. That slows the breathing, it slows the heart rate, it slows that stress response, and it helps you come back to the present moment and say, okay, I'm going to take a breath. I'm all right. Let's see what's going on, and let's reevaluate my current situation.
Sounds like when we were kids, we used to do that into a lunch bag. Right? I
Right,
mean,
hyperventilation, yeah, but it's just about flipping that switch back to, our brains get on these loops and they just go, 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 and we've kind of trained them to do that. So anything with breathing or, just taking a sip of water, anything that disrupts that flow for our kids and puts them back into, the default of the present moment where they're supposed to be, helps them reevaluate the anxiety that's going on, and they're better able to focus. They feel better. They don't feel, some kids get sick. Some kids just can't focus. Some kids, don't want to go out anymore. I mean, the anxiety is just rampant. So anything, again, that just helps them realize that they are safe in this present moment will help them get over that feeling.
that's pretty interesting because I mean, I hate to use the correlation, but what you're saying there almost sounds like the service dogs that we see a lot of our veterans using.
Yes.
Right. So they're kind of just they can sense the anxiety that comes up with the veteran. And just by putting a paw on them or nuzzling up against them, it kind of changes their focus and helps. So sounds like you're saying almost the same thing. You just don't have to have a dog all the time.
You don't, but you know what else works really well is nature. So if a kid is really having a hard time, I'll just have them go outside and touch the grass or touch a tree or play with some leaves. It's, that sensory part of it comes in. And again, nature's so grounding, it brings you back to the present moment, but animals are a great way to do that as well.
Yeah, you gotta love that idea. So now, do you in your work, are you seeing it more with kids having the anxiety issues, or is it the adults that have the anxiety issues, or is it just a matter of who's willing to ask for help?
I see the kids having the anxiety issues. I see the kids having a really hard time being able to express the fact that they feel like something is going on inside of them, but they don't know what it is. And the reason they don't know what it is because they're absorbing all of this junk from us adults who are not processing our anxiety and our fear the correct way either. So I see it in kids because kids have a harder time of hiding it, but it's really coming from the adults who are running the show here every day.
Something that's the whole thing is that we've got to remember that we are role models no matter what we say. And, maybe the parents need to understand, hey, parents are the role model, not some clown on a basketball court or an athlete of some sort. We're going to continue our conversation with Dannie DeNovo when we come back. How do you get out of a cycle of anxiety? We'll chat about that one, key factors that impact real estate affordability, and when do medical bills affect your credit score? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomedigest.com, rsrhomedigest.com. Find out what the county recorder knows about your property, what the market believes about your property, Once a month, you're going to get an email from us, totally free, gift to you from your friends at Ron Siegel Radio. More interactive site, rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Anywhere in the United States, you can actually find out exactly what's going on in the real estate market. If you're looking to buy, sell, refi, all that information is right there, rsrhomescout.com. Key factors that affect affordability is our subject of our report this morning. You can't read an article about residential real estate without the author mentioning the affordability challenges that today's buyers face. There's no doubt homes are less affordable today than they were over the last 2 years, but that doesn't mean homes are now unaffordable. There are 3 measures used to establish home affordability: home prices, mortgage rates, and wages. Let's look closely at each of these components. Number 1, home prices. The most recent Home Price Insights report by CoreLogic shows home values have increased 19.1% from last January to this January. That was one reason affordability declined over the past year. Number 2, mortgage rates. While the current global uncertainty makes it difficult to project mortgage rates, we do know current rates are almost 1 full percentage point higher than they were last year. According to Freddie Mac, the average monthly rate for last February was 2.81%. This February, 3.76%. That increase in the mortgage rate also contributes to homes being less affordable than they were last year. Number 3, wages. The one big positive component in the affordability equation is an increase in American wages. In a recent article by Realty Track, Peter Miller addresses that point. Quote, prices are up, but what about wages? ADP reports the job holder income increased 5.9% last year, but rose 8% for those who switched employers. In effect, some of the higher cost to buy a home has been offset by more cash income, unquote. Easy for me to say. The National Association of Realtors also recently released information that looks at income and affordability. The National Association of Realtors, the NAR data, provides a comparison of the current median family income versus qualifying income for a median-priced home in each region of the country. Now, remember, here in Orange County, California, median home price, $950,000. That's the median home price. Josh has a chart showing us on the screen right now. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, buyer income still greater than required. Shows that on the chart. The median family income is greater than the qualifying income needed to buy a median-priced home in all 4 regions of the country. While those figures may vary in certain locations within the region, it's important to note that in most of the country, homes are still affordable. You should be happy about that. So when you think about affordability, remember that the picture includes more than just home prices and mortgage rates. When prices rise and rates rise, it does impact affordability, and experts project both of those things will climb in the months ahead. That's why it's less affordable to buy a home than it was over the past 2 years when prices and rates were lower than they are today. But wages need to be factored into affordability as well, because wages have been rising. They're a big reason that while less affordable, homes are not unaffordable today. Bottom line, to find out more about affordability in our local area or anywhere in the sound of my voice, let's discuss where home prices are locally, what's happening with mortgage rates, and get you in contact with a real estate professional that can help you get on a path. Obviously, our team can help you with the lending side, but the idea here is we want to make sure that you're in touch with a real estate professional, also part of the team. And that's why I call them the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Again, the real-time real estate segment being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomedigest.com or rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Continue our conversation. Dannie DeNovo is with us. We're talking about happiness. And, it's tough to find happiness right now unless you're intentional. I'm going to use that. Danny, is that fair that you need to be intentional about it right now?
You have to be intentional about it anytime. Yes, happiness is not something that happens to you. It's a decision that you make about how you're going to live your life.
Well, if I won the lottery, it would be something that happened to me. I mean, that might, but that's a different story. I have to play it, I guess, to have to play to win. But that's a different story.
Yeah.
So before the break, we were talking about the concepts of happiness and things that we can do and kids and happiness. But some people seem like they're always anxious. They're always nervous about something. How do you break that cycle?
Well, I think you have to look at the reasons why you started the cycle, right? I mean, some people become anxious because they use some sort of addictive substance or social media or whatever it is to hide, to escape from things. And then anytime that escape route isn't available to them and they have to deal with something, they become anxious. And right now the world's throwing a lot at us, so you're having to deal with a lot. That's one reason why anxiety seems to be worse for us adults, at least. I think a lot of times too, it just has to come down to our attitude about life and how we view it. We sit in this negative cycle of life is so unfair, or this always happens to me, or why can't things ever go this way, or why can't this ever happen to me? And we just sort of ruminate in that energy. And so it's, the universe, if you will, gives you something to cry about because that's what you're asking for. Again, when your brain is trained to look for negative things, it's going to go out and look for negative things. When you train it to look for the good things in life, when you approach the day with gratitude and with a feeling of, I really do have the possibility to do a lot with this day, then things change for you very quickly if you are able to start each day and stay in that cycle, or at least pull yourself out of the negative thinking when you see yourself fall into it. That requires a lot of conscious energy on your part.
So I'm going to go on a out on a limb here because it's something I do on Ron Siegel Radio all the time. But what I want to throw at you, Danny, is I'm a believer that some of the issues that we're experiencing is, we've got into this society of political correctness, and we've got away from a society of any kind of spirituality. Could that be part of it? I mean, we've seen that participation in churches, synagogues, mosques have diminished over the last 3 to 4 or 5 years. Is that part of it, do you think?
I think people are greatly lacking in a spiritual practice. I don't know that necessarily means that it has to be religious based, but we are deeply disconnected from that true internal voice of ours that was meant to be the compass, meant to be sort of the guidance, and that feeling that we are connected as a whole, right? Everybody wants to be seen as the individual instead of understanding that we're all here to sort of support one another and that we're all part of something much bigger than any of us individually. And when you lose sight of that, I do see that people have a harder time understanding what's my purpose, why am I here, and why do I need to engage with the world on a level that makes me feel as though I'm contributing and then I'm getting something back in return.
Something that's a big one right there, is that there's so many people out there, especially nowadays, again, my opinion, social media, that it's all about me, and we've lost in a lot of areas. Now, my kids have all they were all involved in sports. And I think one of the big issues of sports is it's, other than golf and tennis, maybe, most of them are team sports. You're always looking for that bigger, it's more about, the bigger picture, the more than, like, as you put it, more than just me.
Right.
Do you think having our kids involved in some of those athletics or some of those type of things, is that a solution?
I think it could be part of the solution. Again, I think it goes back to the parents and the adults that the children are around, because they're mimicking our behavior. And if we're out there trying to make ourselves more compartmentalized and more individualistic, then our children are going to see that and try to do the same thing. But if they see us, obviously holding our own as an individual person, but also contributing in some way with our purpose, somehow sharing, passions, gifts, abilities in any way that we can, to, make the world a better place, then I think children genuinely want to do that. I mean, you see kids come out of school. My daughter's still in elementary school, so I see it a lot, but they come out of school and they've made gifts for their parents that they want to share with them, and they've learned something that they want to share with their brothers and sisters. They always want to give something without expecting anything in return. But again, we drill that out of them as time goes on. It's always look out for number one, or make sure you protect yourself, instead of showing them how they can be a little bit vulnerable, but also protect themselves at the same time. I think that's where true happiness comes from.
Interesting. We're going to continue our conversation with Dannie DeNovo. We want to find out from you when we come back. How do you know all this stuff? Is it personal experience, or have you just gone to school and it's from a book? So we'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Also, when do medical bills affect your credit? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it is wrong. Credit Sanitizer has these solutions for you. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Hey, go to rsrcreditbook.com, rsrcreditbook.com. We got a book for you to help you out with some of the credit matters that you may need to know about. When do medical bills affect your credit? Medical debt is another thing we're adding to the fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic caused 53% of people who are already dealing with medical expenses to take on additional debt, according to a survey from Discover Personal Loans. Like other types of debt, medical bills have the potential to affect your credit. You're going to end up with medical bills, even if you have health insurance. Some medical providers may not report outstanding bills to the credit bureaus, but may instead sell or assign unpaid bills to third-party collection agencies who then report debts to credit bureaus after a waiting period. In 2017, the three major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, agreed to wait 180 days after the account was first past due before reporting unpaid medical bills. This gives you time to sort things out with the insurance provider and have them pay all or at least some of the bill to keep it off your credit report. After the grace period is up, any unpaid medical bills that get reported to the credit bureaus can impact your FICO scores. Protecting your credit from medical bills. To stay on top of medical bills, start by talking to your healthcare provider once you receive the bill. Make sure you've been billed correctly. Then ask about any discounts or financial assistance programs you can take advantage of to lower your bill. Negotiating a payment plan is another option if you can't get your bill reduced. If you miss the window to negotiate with the service provider and the bill gets sent to collections, you may still have time to keep the account off your credit report. Review the bill to make sure everything is accurate if you haven't already, and dispute any incorrect charges with the collection agency. Paying off valid medical collections may be worth it. Some of the more recently released credit scoring models like FICO Score 9 ignore third-party paid collections, which could help your approval odds when you apply for credit with a lender who uses one of these later models. How you pay your medical bills can impact your FICO scores as well. whether you pay the third-party service provider or collection agency. For instance, taking out a new loan to pay off medical expenses means a new inquiry and increased debt on your credit report. Using your credit cards can also affect your FICO scores if your credit utilization increases. Discover's survey found that 41% of people used credit cards to pay off their medical debt. Regardless of how you choose to pay them, as with other amounts owed, taking care of medical expenses in a timely fashion will put you in the best position to avoid a negative impact to your credit. And if you act quickly, if you can avoid having a collection on your report, which can remain there for up to 7 years. That's the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It's wrong. What are you doing about it? Continue our conversation this morning. Dannie DeNovo is with us. We're chatting about happiness, and you could probably figure out what Danny's website is. It's DannieDeNovo.com. It's pretty simple. Danny, even I can remember that one. It's a pretty simple place to go. Find out more information about coaching and courses and the like right on the site. But Danny, tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get to your experience and understanding of these issues of anxiety and depression?
Well, I grew up with it. I was an incredibly anxious child. I ended up getting into a very bad depression around the age of 16 that just got worse and worse to the point of clinical depression. And I had some really hard times with that, going through college and everything else. And everyone had always told me that I was just making it harder for myself. If I just did everything like everybody else, that I would be happier and I'd be able to get on with my life. And so that's what I tried to do. I went to law school. I became a lawyer, passed the bar, got a good job, got a house, got married, and I had my daughter. Then one night I'm sitting there when I'm making dinner. I'm stirring a pot on the stove. My baby's on the floor. She's not even a year old. And she picks up a pot and a spoon that she was playing with. And she looks up at me with her big brown eyes and she started stirring in the pot like I was. It was the first time she had ever copied anything that I had done. And at first I thought it was really cool. And so I bent down. I was like, yeah, just like mommy. And then I almost fainted onto the floor because I suddenly realized my daughter was copying everything that I was doing. And while I might have been a functional adult, I wasn't very happy. I was living a very lonely, depressed, unfulfilled life. And I was teaching my daughter how to do that by virtue of just doing everything the way I was doing it. So I made a decision right then and there that I was going to learn everything there was to know about happiness because I was going to teach that to my daughter. I didn't believe I could be happy. I didn't think that I was wired to be, but I was not going to let her go through life miserable. And then, of course, when I started learning all of these things that I'm talking about, my life changed, and hopefully my daughter's life changed too.
That's amazing. And something you threw something in there that a lot of people forget about is the kids are always watching.
Always.
Right there, we might not think that they're watching, but they're mimicking what they see, and if they see good, and if they see happy, they have a better chance of following in that same path. And if they see stress, they sense stress, don't they?
Oh, they pick it up so easily. I have a lot of parents who come to me and just say, my child just not interested in anything. I can't get them off the couch. They don't want to do this, or they used to really like to do this and they don't do it anymore. How come they don't have that passion? And, my question back to them always is, do they see you do any of those things? I mean, have you lost passion in your life? Are you showing them what it's like to go out there and pursue passion, to try and fail and try again? Because if we aren't teaching them that, they aren't learning it anywhere.
That's an interesting thought, right? I had a conversation last weekend with someone, and that was they were in the school of their dreams and weren't happy.
Yeah.
And it took a while to go through the conversation and say, something, you don't have to just be doing what you're doing to get yourself happy. Why go to be a doctor if you're not going to be happy being a doctor? Be a cook or a janitor or whatever. Just be the best you can be. And maybe that's too simplistic. Is that too simplistic?
It's not too simplistic, but I think where we do them a disservice is just by leaving it at that point in time. We don't teach them to then, how do I find out what I really like? How do I know what makes me happy?
Okay, so how do I do it?
Yeah, you go out and you do a lot of different things and you try a lot of different stuff and you realize you're going to be pretty bad at most of it. but you allow yourself that ability to explore, because you sort of find out what makes you happy by realizing what doesn't make you happy. You just process of elimination. I tried this. I don't like it. I don't like how this makes me feel. I don't like the work, blah, 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 whatever the reason is, right? And you slowly, through the process, come to realize, wow, I really am good at this. I really enjoy doing this. This makes me feel alive inside. And you keep gravitating towards those things more and more and sort of, hone it in.
Sounds almost counterintuitive, though, because what you're saying there is go out, try things. If you fail, you're going to find something different. You're going to try something new.
Yes.
And in failure, you find happiness.
In failure leads you to happiness. I mean, failure isn't, again, that's another thing I think we teach our kids, failure is final. You can't do it. Okay, we'll stop. Or if it hurts a little bit to kind of get through this process, then just stop doing it. Instead of realizing that even through failure, you become a more resilient human being. And when you're resilient and you're confident in your abilities, that also makes you a happier person. We want to protect our children, and rightfully so, but we do it to the extent where we don't allow them to go out and really figure out who they are. We give them this, sense of who they might be, but we don't allow them that space to really figure it out to a point where they're confident they know who they are.
That's an interesting point right there. Something I needed to talk to you, Danny, before I spoke to this person over the weekend. I might have been better equipped to give a little counsel right there. If somebody needs your services, your help, how do they reach you? What do you do to help the community, the world, and whatnot?
Oh, I do a lot of coaching. I do a lot of speaking. So I do group coaching, one-on-one coaching. I have a number of online programs that you can subscribe to and get more help from. I've got a lot of good media and free stuff on my website and on my social media pages. So you can go to DannieDeNovo.com and look at it there, or you can always email me, which is just Dannie@DannieDeNovo.com, and we can chat about what might be going on and what might be a good solution.
Dannie DeNovo, our happiness expert. So whenever we're sad, I guess we gotta, Josh, when we have a problem here and we get our ratings start dropping, we're gonna have to call Danny, and we'll be happy about the drop ratings or something along those lines. Really appreciate you taking the time out and coming and joining us again. Go visit DannieDeNovo.com, DannieDeNovo.com. And as always, we ask you set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.